Buongiorno amici, bonjour à tous, and good morning wherever you are in the world. I just wanted to speak a little bit about what I'm doing with my life and how things have changed since the since the 2025 season. A lot has been going on, and I've taken, maybe you haven't noticed, you probably haven't noticed, but I took a step back from speaking and communicating more of the back end work in terms of my wedding filmmaking. I used to think about teaching more. I still think about it, and I still want to help educate where you or any other students might be interested in learning. I gave a talk earlier this year in Vancouver, and I helped host a film festival in Rome in April. And so there were a few times in 2025 where I did have the opportunity to share my insights and thoughts on the wedding film industry right now. But at the beginning of this year, I truly had the intention of creating more video content and educative information online through video to help anyone, again, that might want to learn from me or learn from the things that I've been able to pick up through the years. And what I really wanted to do was kind of announce something to the couples that I've worked with. So this video is not just for what I'm saying now, which is at the top of my head. I haven't written this out. There's no script or anything. I wanted to record this video not just for my fellow wedding filmmakers and fellow wedding industry professionals, but also for the specific couples that have entrusted me with a lot of their milestone moments through their wedding. And I want to just thank all of you from the past 11 years of Aaron Daniel Films for bringing me on and allowing me and my team, allowing us to take part in something so impactful, so emotional, and something truly human that weddings provide, which is really awkward and hard to say. And maybe it's the topic of this video, which is humanity, which is a true human touch to things. And that's something I really wanted to touch on because I don't know what it is, but social media has been super weird lately. And I think it has to do with a lot of the AI progression in the world. I know this is a conflicting topic between different people, or not conflicting, but controversial. AI is so strong in the entrepreneurial space, but it's so not disregarded. It's so taboo to talk about in the art space, which I think as a professional artist or creative or craftsman in some aspect, and you can also probably attest to this, we like to or try to attempt to balance both sides of that, the business side with the artistic craft side of things, the artistic side. So we're seeing a true widened gap between the people that, at least from my view, are really implementing and taking in the technological evolutions that surround artificial intelligence. For example, Sora 2. I had some time to play around with it. But then there's also this other side that completely is opposed to artificial intelligence in any form. And so it's really hard as a business person to try to balance that in a tasteful way. You know, most people, I believe, are centrist, or I think my audience is a little more liberal. But I could be wrong. Maybe there are a lot of entrepreneurial conservatives that I could also empathize with in certain aspects. I don't know where I would stand on that front, and that's not something I would want to go into. But what I did want to say to the couples that have entrusted me and my team is that I can't do short films anymore. I can't, in good conscience, provide films that are highlights of 24 hours into a short 5-minute film. After speaking to and meeting with many international filmmakers throughout this year and the past, being able to teach and hear other filmmakers' issues or struggles, and then also mapping that onto what I believe couples are looking for from their wedding vendors, I can't in good conscience, offer 5-minute highlight films anymore. And so from this point on moving forward, everyone who has already booked a package with me that is around 5 minutes in length will automatically be upgraded to at least 10-minute film. And there are a few of you who have already received their packages in an upgraded format to this new time length or length of time film. And I thank you for being open to this new way that I'm approaching giving to the wedding industry, giving to wedding clients. This isn't to say that 5-minute wedding films don't do a couple justice, because they totally can. And I've seen very impactful films throughout the years, especially so taking part in many international film competition panels as a judge. I'm going through a film competition right now, and I'm seeing all your beautiful work. But for me, I can't. The amount of coverage that I have with me and at least one second shooter, one partner, we have so much footage that it feels almost not bad, but it feels disingenuous to only give you 5 minutes. And I know it's hard to say, or hard to it's hard to really sell the idea of a long film when all of social media is opting for that hype 30-second, 45-second, 60-second edit that really punches the viewer right in the face. I don't know what it is about Instagram, TikTok, even YouTube now, but the push for short form content is, and I hate to say that, making me a little angry. Maybe not angry completely, but it's making me disappointed in what we're providing for the couples or people that we work with. For me, and I've been going through a lot of books lately on the evolution of beauty, what it means to truly do good in the world and do something truthful to what humanity is. Truth, beauty, and goodness. I think that those 3 core pillars of human life is how I'm trying to move forward with Aaron Daniel Films. I can't make something beautiful if it's not truthful or done in good terms with the people around me. And so from my personal experience, and I'm not saying this for everyone, I can't do 5-minute films anymore. I can only do at least 10, because I don't think it's good to just give a quick highlight cut of something. If you do want a highlight cut of your wedding footage, I highly, highly, highly recommend wedding content creators. It's a new type of vendor that's come on the scene in the past maybe 2-3 years in the mainstream. I know they started out in around 2020, 2021 during all the lockdowns. Content creators for weddings have done such a fantastic job at capturing your beautiful, wholesome, catchy, punchy moments in a phone vertical format dedicated for social media. And I would highly recommend anyone who's looking for video but may not want a full 10-minute piece to look at content creators. I will list a few content creators that I love working with. I love their work and can only say good things about who they are as people. I'm going to list them down below. But now what I want to do is kind of touch on why I think this in the first place. Why am I completely disbanding my 5-minute highlight in favor of at least 10 to 12 minutes? And it has to do with what I had already subconsciously written about a year ago or 2 years ago now. I don't know when my transcript came into being, but in my latest publication, Is Protagonist, I talk about the true emphasis on keeping components of a wedding film together. You can't break down a good film into specific aspects and build up only one component of it in hopes of building up everything. Every part of a film, regardless of it being wedding, documentary, art, commercial, every aspect, component, and trait of a film must be built up in coordination with everything else. So the sound, the color, the pacing, the narrative, it can't be broken up into pieces. And so what I want to do today is read a chapter or read a section of a chapter from my book, Is Protagonist, that truly encapsulates that idea. The idea that we can't break down a full wedding day into bite-sized minutes in a good way, at least to me, and based on my thoughts on it. I hope this is making sense. I was just rambling there, but hopefully you caught on to what I'm trying to say here. And maybe after reading this, it'll hit home even more. So I want to read, what chapter was it? I think it was chapter 5. For anyone who has my book, thank you. I appreciate all the beautiful and wonderful comments on it so far. It's not something that I continue to promote, for one, because it's not something that's for public consumption. It's a very niche topic on the psychology of wedding film editing. So if you're not a wedding filmmaker, it's not for you. But maybe what I have written here is something that you can relate to. So it's in chapter 5, and I titled the section, "The Whole is Not Its Pieces." The whole is not its pieces. Let's imagine enthusiastically attending the opera, perhaps for Bizet's Carmen, with the illustrious image of a grand theater and lush drapes. Walking into a packed house of tailored suits and couture fabrics, there's a sense of prestige and importance as you slowly approach your orchestra seats. You, along with a loving partner at your side, sit in awe to your surroundings while the pit finalizes the last-minute tuning. The instruments are ready to go, the crowd is silenced, and there is stillness in the air. Then Act 1's overture blasts through the crowd. It is astounding. As the show continues, you are entrenched in an overflow of senses, feelings, and emotional conclusions about each of the 4 acts. The end of the night sees a standing ovation, and the exhilaration of your fellow audience members is matched by your own enthusiasm and zest for the experience. Unbelievable, you say to your partner as you drive back home, blood full of adrenaline. The next day, you meet with a colleague, dying to share your experience with her. Descriptions stream out in excitement, like ethereal vocal punch, velvety harmony, opulent stage lighting, and sultry acoustic passion. You're obviously fanatical about the experience, yet your coworker seems only mildly interested, borderline bored. At this point, you begin to ask your friend why she isn't eager to see the show herself. She replies with disinterest. Your colleague, unfazed, points to the fact that she can describe her nights at home on Netflix with the same fervor. The sounds can be reproduced on my laptop, the stage lights can be imagined through anyone's smartphone, and my couch sounds a lot more inviting than a wooden armchair with some velvet. You are flabbergasted. Your colleague thinks she can mimic the opera in her living room. And so that was the little story that I had illustrated to introduce the 5 components of a wedding film. And I'm just going to read a little bit more to really hit home the point here, which maybe isn't as clear yet. So let me continue. In the above example, I have illustrated today's defaulting to the virtual world. The magic of the opera is distilled to a few descriptive words, which are then reinterpreted as complete likeness to a YouTube video. This is clearly a distortion of reality. What brought you to tears in that theater was not merely the perfect adaptation of Bizet's compositions, nor the perfect fluidity of stage performers, nor the illustrious stage design and excitement of the whole audience in their velvet seats. It was everything in its whole. My positive belief is that anything of true beauty, anything worth experiencing for oneself is, quite literally, unspeakable. We can't fully articulate through the human language what a masterful piece of artwork does to us. We can describe the experience with the most eloquent and vivacious of prose, but the translation of the gestalt into our language of sequential grammar is neurologically impossible. Let me say that again. We can describe the experience with the most eloquent and vivacious of prose, but the translation of the gestalt into our language of sequential grammar is neurologically impossible. And I have a bunch of references to back up that statement. This is why some one-sentence quotes are much more impactful than full books of the same topic. True beauty needs few words. So, after going through this section of my book, my position on translating true identity, true moments, true feelings, takes more than just virtual representations of things, which, in my view, my shorter 5-minute films were along those lines. I couldn't, in good conscience, represent a wedding day in 5 minutes alone. And I have since then upgraded everyone to a 10 to 12 minute piece. And I'm so glad that I've gotten good feedback so far. And now I'm saying this publicly. But you might be wondering, in that last sentence there, I said, true beauty needs few words. And you might be wondering then why my short films aren't good representations of true beauty. Isn't that contrary to what I'm saying? No, what I'm saying is that the film medium needs more nuance. It needs more time, more... It's ineffable. I can't even describe it. I can't communicate it. I can't teach it properly. But I can try. What I'm saying is that short films can't represent a person's identity, a couple's identity, a couple's wedding in a short amount of time. We can put together 60-second TikToks to emphasize a specific energy, a specific atmosphere. But a specific atmosphere isn't a wedding. A wedding is not a 60-second teaser. And I have been at fault in progressing the need for something hype, for something heavily stylized and heavily edited into a 45-second piece. And I really like those. I really enjoy making those quick edits. But if you're investing in a wedding film, I really don't think that's what you should be receiving in return. Again, I'm not, what's the proper word, belittling 5-minute highlight films. I think they're beautiful and they can be beautifully done given the production time that you are giving your wedding filmmaker or that you have been given by your couples. Depending on the context, and again, this comes back to Gestalt, full context of things, depending on the context of how you are able to attend to a wedding day, given the amount of time that you're there, given what you know about the couple, given every aspect of the production process, some films can do really well. A 5-minute film can do really well given a limited amount of time that you spend with the couple. But what I'm saying is, for the amount of time that I like to give my couples and what I ask of my couples, usually 12 hours, I don't think that 12 hours can be confidently conceptualized into a 5-minute piece. And so from here on end, I won't be offering those highlights anymore and can only offer at least 10 to 12 minutes. So I hope my rambling has made sense to you. I don't know that it even made sense to me, but thank you for listening to me narrate some of my writing from the past year to 2024, written maybe in 2023. Some of my musings on what it means to make good film and good art. Again, moving forward, I can only attempt and give my all to creating a beautiful piece of film, a beautiful piece of work, given truthful representations of things, truthful capturing, truthful projections of who you are as couples, while approaching the production in a good way. Goodness is beauty and truth. In my eyes, I don't think those three transcendentals can be separate from one another. And so if you want something beautiful, it has to be truthful and it has to be done in good conscience. And so that's all my ramblings for today. I hope this made sense. Everyone who has booked a short piece with me has automatically been upgraded to a 10 to 12 minute piece. If you have any apprehension or pushback from this offering, please let me know. I'd be happy to continue to create a 5-minute shorter piece just for you. But I'm putting it on the table. Longer films is where I'm going to be headed. Yeah. Oh, I should also note my 60-second teasers still there. I think it's fortunately or unfortunately required in today's AI age. So the teasers will still be there, but your full heirloom film will be longer than 5 minutes. Thank you all so much for listening to me, and I hope to catch up with you again soon.